This isn't just a new head coach walking through the door. This is a complete philosophical overhaul that just saved our defense, and might have just saved Michael Penix Jr.'s career before it even truly began. Kevin Stefanski has arrived in Atlanta, and he didn't come alone. He brought a masterclass strategy that has the entire league putting respect on the Falcons' name again. If you thought the offseason was going to be quiet, you need to wake up, because we just got a double dose of news that changes absolutely everything for this franchise. Falcons fans, we can finally take a collective deep breath. The anxiety was real. The rumors were swirling. But the Atlanta Falcons have officially made the smartest move of the entire offseason right out of the gate. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich is staying home. Under the new regime of Kevin Stefanski, the man who turned our defense into a legitimate powerhouse is not going anywhere. It feels different today. There is a sense of optimism because there is finally a grown-up in the room making decisions. The very first thing Kevin Stefanski did was look at the tape and recognize reality. He didn't let ego get in the way. He saw exactly what Jeff Ulbrich did last season. He saw the unbelievable blitz packages. He saw the absolute buy-in from every single starter on that unit. He saw the development of our young secondary, and he recognized the significance of shattering the franchise record for most sacks in a single season. Stefanski saw that and decided he needed that stability. That is leadership. That is how you build a culture. Now, there is still a narrative out there regarding Kevin Stefanski's record that needs to be addressed immediately because it is lazy and, quite frankly, it is wrong. To everyone pointing at his win-loss record with the Cleveland Browns over the last 2 seasons, or even his entire tenure, look at the context. You have to realize that the undisputed greatest head coach in the history of this sport, Bill Belichick, walked into Cleveland and put up a 37-45 record. Kevin Stefanski went 46-58. This is not to say Stefanski is Belichick. That isn't the point. The point is to illustrate that the Cleveland Browns have been a dysfunctional organization for decades. It is a place where coaching careers usually go to die. So when you look at those 8-win seasons, you have to realize Stefanski was squeezing water out of a rock. He had an owner who handicapped the franchise for half a decade by giving Deshaun Watson $230 million fully guaranteed. That wasn't Stefanski's fault. That was a complete organizational failure from the top down. If a chef is given rotten ingredients and told to cook a 5-star meal, you don't blame the chef when the food tastes bad. You blame the person who bought the groceries. I am not here to convince people to suddenly fall in love with this hire, but it is a solid, logical move. And here is the one thing that should calm the nerves: Matt Ryan believes in him. Our team president called Stefanski a lead-by-example leader who brings a clear vision for the staff. He talked about a shared vision and the importance of working in sync with scouting and personnel. Matt Ryan didn't just wake up and pick a name out of a hat. He didn't make this decision willy-nilly just to get an experienced body in the building. After other candidates were off the board, Ryan did his due diligence. He looked at the landscape of the NFL and decided Stefanski was the guy. If Matt Ryan is signing off on this, it is worth giving Stefanski a clean slate. But there is a second part to this news, and arguably it is even more critical for the future of the offense. The Falcons are expected to hire Bill Callahan as their offensive line coach. If you are a casual fan, you might be asking who Bill Callahan is and why it matters. This is a home run. This is a grand slam. Bill Callahan is widely regarded as one of the greatest offensive line minds in the history of football. We are talking about 40 years of experience. We are talking about a guy known for technical development, physical line play, and absolute discipline in pass protection schemes. And who needs elite pass protection more than anyone else in the league right now? Michael Penix Jr. This is why the excitement is justified. This isn't just about hiring a head coach, it's about assembling an elite staff. Keeping Ulbrich to run the defense is genius. Bringing in Callahan to build a wall in front of a young quarterback is a masterclass. These are 2 high-level, football-savvy decisions back-to-back. And make no mistake, Stefanski had every opportunity to bring in his own guys. He chose to keep Ulbrich because he recognized the talent. He chose to target Callahan because he knows what it takes to win in the trenches. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, confidence levels should be rising. This feels like a solid 7 or 8. But we have to talk about the elephant in the room. What does all of this mean for the most important position on the field? What does this mean for Michael Penix Jr. as we look toward the 2026 season? The reality is that Penix is scheduled to return from his ACL injury in August. That means he is going to miss the vast majority of the on-field work during training camp. That is a brutal timeline for a young quarterback who desperately needs reps. Penix is the ultimate wild card in this Stefanski era. We know he is excited. He wants to get to work. He wants to compete. But Kevin Stefanski is a smart man, and he is likely not going to put all his eggs in the basket of a guy coming off a major knee injury with zero backup plan. That would be foolish. This doesn't mean moving on from Penix. Absolutely not. But if the plan for 2026 is Michael Penix or bust, that is setting the team up for failure. We have to be honest with ourselves. Was Penix amazing in 2025 before he got hurt? No. Was he bad? No. Was his development stunted by the previous offensive coaching staff? Absolutely. All of those things can be true at the same time. But now, the leash is shorter. The clock is ticking. There is one season to prove it. Penix has to come back, get healthy, and show that he can operate a Kevin Stefanski offense, which is light years ahead of what was being run last year. Stefanski is an offensive mind. He understands how to scheme guys open. If Penix can succeed with Bill Callahan coaching his line and Stefanski calling his plays, then we will know he isn't the guy. This brings everything to the next few weeks. Free agency and the legal tampering period are starting in March. That is barely 7 weeks away. The Falcons absolutely must add a veteran quarterback to this room, regardless of how Penix's rehab is going. You need insurance. There are names to watch. Malik Willis is out there. Joe Flacco, who already has chemistry with Stefanski, could be a perfect mentor and a solid backup plan. Marcus Mariota is another option, or even Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley has earned the right to be a high-end backup in this league, and he fits a lot of systems. If you had to pick one, it's a tough call. Bringing in a guy with too much potential might signal that you've given up on Penix. It's a delicate balance. Matt Ryan and Kevin Stefanski have to decide if they are going to punt on Penix's potential, or give him every possible tool to succeed while keeping a safety net in place. We are going to find out a lot about this team's philosophy in the next 50 days. But right now, the building blocks are being set. We have a head coach who knows offense. We have a defensive coordinator who just set franchise records. And we have an offensive line coach who is a living legend. The foundation is solid. Now we just need to see if the house they build on top of it can stand the storm.